Guys, you just caught me. I'm just finishing this before we get started. It shouldn't take a second. I'll tell you something. If they made finishing these part of the Elite Series, I'd be MVP every week. Just give me, honestly, that was too quick. Just give me a couple more minutes and then we'll have this done. Honestly, I'm usually really quick. I was actually the fastest at my school. Do you know what, actually, I think this one must be 40, guys. Seriously, this one's 40. I'm gonna get rid of this one, get rid of that. Simple, it is done. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week 7 of the Elite Series where it's time for CSGO. The playoff picture is still a puzzle itself with permutations aplenty. Unlike that little Rubik's Cube monster, we'll have CSGO solved by the end of tonight. It's definitely 40, that one, mate.
T-Sys does what T-Sys does best.
Big Shroud gets the headshot. Reason Gaming are your victors. Max with the double switches out to the UMP. Oh. Max is playing gun game.
Stan comes through, 4 kills in the round.
Huge play. Under nose gun, needs to get the ring back. Oh, legs him. Need a later. A Zinken is ripping his way through. Nice jump shot from Dzgo.
Oh, hat-trick from Crucials.
Haji. Warping through. What? But Aaron goes huge. It's a triple.
That's what happens if you've got a good Rubik's Cube. My one was faulty. Anyway, listen, heading into week 7, Reason and Endpoint are already safely qualified, but after them, no less than half the Elite Series team still harbour playoff hopes. Epsilon Esports will be the happiest of the 4 as they have destiny in their own hands. Win, and they are through. Method, Envy, and Infused will all be battling hard for points, as well as looking to their rivals' results to determine their futures. It's a fascinating situation with several different scenarios spelling success or failure for them. But do not worry. Do not panic, we will guide you through exactly what each team needs as we go. It's the final day of the regular season, and all in all, it's a perfect setup for some thrilling CSGO action. Now, you join me at the moment as I head down the stairs. Players, I will be up there in a second, but over here in the casting area, we have got your main man Snods, your main man Jackie. How are you getting on with that?
Give it a right, mate. Yeah, it's faulty. Working. Something wrong with that, I reckon.
Yeah,
definitely faulty.
Definitely broken. And that's how they try and sabotage the show. You know what I mean? They're trying to show me up. But anyway.
It's probably Harold.
Probably. Do you know what? It probably was Harold. Gentlemen, it's been an amazing tournament so far.
Definitely.
Those permutations are very exciting. What do you make of the fixtures today?
Obviously, there's, 4 teams currently fighting for that 3rd and 4th position into the playoffs. I think for me, obviously, the first matchup means a lot of Infused. Can they still stay in this one? Reason Gaming, obviously, automatically qualified. And then it comes down to this 3rd matchup, Excel versus Method, the UK derby, that for me, in terms of entertainment, should definitely deliver. Yeah, and what about yourself, Jackie? What are you seeing? And what about that Epsilon Team Envy one at the end? That's a big one as well.
You think about the big fish on the end there?
Oh, thank you.
It looks good, mate. Oh, you are a big fish to me.
Can't wait to get it on the scales, see what we're working with.
See what we've actually caught when we get strung up.
And then I've got the ice. There's little shards of ice ready to...
Just really keep it frozen. We'll sell that down the market. People will love that. Bit of envious. They're always up for a bit of envious.
Always good. They are indeed, gentlemen. It's going to be very, very exciting. You're in place. You're in position. A member of the team who I always like to hear from. She's probably backstage right now. What are you up to, Lottie?
Right now, Tom, I'm actually hanging out with some of the coolest players we've got. So I've got Zek right here by my side. Zek, how are we this week? How are we going? You've got a massive Coke Zero there, fueling yourself up ready for the game. How are we doing?
Man's not hot.
Man's not hot. I like it. I like it. Well, guys, I'm going to be backstage here pretty much all day, just getting all the best gossip and all the best results from here. I've got Endpoint on my left as well. Max, hey, hi guys, how's it going? Emmy's there, zoned in. I've got loads of the guys practicing, getting ready. But guys, also at home, we want to hear from you too. So make sure you get on your Twitter, you tweet us at Gfinity and put that hashtag Elite Series because we want to hear what you think too. Tom, talk to me about this next game, Infused and Reason. Come on, it's got to be a good one.
It is a good one, Lottie. I can see the ever-present, those players of Prophecy didn't really want to do too much chatting or talking, but I'm sure they'll save the talking to up there. Gentlemen, I'll leave you. I'll be back in a second when we have the map selection for you. Now, over here, ever-present, is that apple for me, Herald, for the teacher?
No.
OK, fair enough. Herald, SEO, this is going to be an exciting encounter, this first one. Infused versus Reason. Reason have already qualified, but Infused with it all to do and hoping for results to go in their way.
Yeah, obviously there's a lot of interesting situations that can arise today, like with results going certain ways, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds, really.
Indeed. Now, SEO, I've got to ask you about the winners from last week. Now, you like to compile a list of the people who you think stood out. So who are they?
Yeah, so obviously, each week we're going to have people who've succeeded in their own way. So it's situational based and scenario based where, they succeed. Endpoint obviously is an easy pick, really. Beating Epsilon in the head-to-head matchup for the playoff situation and also confirming their spot in the playoffs this week. It kind of, it's an overall good situation to be in because they might face them in the playoffs. And obviously, securing that spot is perfect too. As well as that, it was on Nuke, which is a map we have not seen from them as of yet.
It's a beautiful, beautiful map. I'd wished, I'd hoped, I'd prayed for it to happen, and then 2 in 1 week. But there you go, Team Infused. Also, Fry, this man is unstoppable.
The last 2 weeks, he's been a winner in my book. So he's been phenomenal for them, and he proves it. I think he's got about 63 kills the last 2 maps, and that's incredible, both in regulation as well.
Or he basically says the rest of his boys need to step up today. What about these boys, Envy?
Yeah, so Envy, obviously, they've beat XL last week, and it's kind of basically put it in their own hands, essentially. So they beat XL. And now it means if they do beat Epsilon, without Epsilon getting that bonus point, they can get the playoffs confirmed no matter what.
And also there was Stanley, who stood out from last week as well.
Yeah.
He has been popping left, right and centre, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been playing phenomenal all season. He's been playing the form of his life. It could be put down towards the gaming house, but who knows? Only him at this point.
Now, we have to talk about losers as well. What we are contractually not allowed to is to mention Herald. But let's talk about the others from week 6. Who stood out for you?
Yeah, I think XL is just general. This season, they've just been woeful, I suppose. They've not had anything go right for them, not really got a foot into the actual season at all. It's just been a bit disappointing, really.
Yeah, and then knowing that the guys had to do it all, you've got Haji as well who stood forward, and Method, 2 other people.
Yeah.
What is it about Method that's infuriated you?
I don't know, it's the fact that they had that heavy lead and then it just slipped away. Obviously, it was a weak CT side, which they do know. The only runs they won on CT were, in fact, eco rounds, no gun runs whatsoever. And I think they know down, deep inside, they know they could have won that game, but it shouldn't, hinder their future performances.
Well, big day against XL. Obviously, I would have been on the losers list as well, Harold. Can we look at the chart toppers, please, for a second? I know it's going to be a long day. I thought I'd get my first shot in against you first of all.
Listen. That's an invitation I will take wholeheartedly. So I look forward to continuing this little feud. But
highest
the
elite
feuds
rated.
that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, my guess. Again, it's only been 1 game, so 13.89. It's very good. The question is, can he maintain it? And this week is his opportunity to prove it. The brothers from the Netherlands ready to show what they can do, so we're going to be looking forward to that. And again, highest ADR was my guess, so looking very good. But the thing is, Fry, this is consistent. This is over 7 weeks. He's had 90. Same with Stanley. When you've got this many players, again, Jakey, I'm not going to count that. I'm sure he does. That's on his Twitter bio, it's on his Steam profile, it's everywhere.
But it's Fry consistently playing and crucial as well. And Basso there, last man standing. Explain that one first.
Well, again, it's one of those ones where you have to look a little bit deeper into it. The question is, these are the teams that haven't actually been having the greatest seasons, apart from, obviously, Rees and Basso being playing very well, very well indeed. But it goes to show, good clutches, strong play, especially someone like Lambert appearing on there is very good, an in-game leader, not the person you often look to clutch away, but he's doing well. So
just to break that down, so the last man standing is you're the last man against the opposition to try and clutch.
So 1vx situation, so 1 versus however many kind of a situation. So say your team's all died, they've dropped dead, and you've got to take the reins.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that can be expanded into rounds 1 whilst last alive, just expanding onto it. But it's not worth noting into some of the parts because last live in some situations you could be the last person rotating and then you're left in that situation multiple times in a game, which you can't really blame yourself in that situation.
Now I know for hosting a show and also having great analysts, we're part of the dream team. But if we was to compile a dream team of 5 of the best, who would you put in there?
I feel like Fry's an obvious pick. It's straight up probably the best performance of the season. Genko, Basso and Stan, they played phenomenally last week. Genko obviously still lost, but you can't put it against him. He had 29 kills, I believe.
So from left to right, we've got Lambert, Fry, Genko, Basso, and Stanley on the right. And would you agree with that, Harold?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need that strong in-game leader, someone that's going to be headstrong, bit of experience, and we know he can clutch in the situation, so that's fantastic. And then you've just got some absolute fraggers on the team who are just going to be putting in work week in, week out, especially with that Fry-Stanley combination is very powerful.
Yeah. Now, we spoke to Lottie. She was backstage with some of those boys. They weren't offering a lot of chat, to be honest, but hopefully Lottie has found someone. I believe she's found Mighty Max. He's obviously going to be more chatty.
I have indeed, Tommy. He's one of my faves as well, and loving the matching glasses too. Mighty Max, big week next week, most likely for you guys, but this week is a little more of a practice for you. You're already through. You can chill out a little bit. What are we going to see from you with this game versus Prophecy?
It's more of a relaxed game for us, but I think after today we'll know who we're playing in the playoffs. I think if we win here and Reason lose, we'll be playing the third team. So today we're just going to try and practice a little bit, but it's not pressure on us really. No pressure.
During the week in your house, have you guys been practicing, getting ready for these playoffs, getting ready for the semi-finals? What have you guys been focusing on in particular?
I don't want to give away what we're doing, but we have some stuff that we're working on. I think people are in for a shock in the playoffs. But things have been going well, yeah.
Okay, I like it. And the games today, we've got, first up, Infused versus Reason. Now, what are your predictions on this game? Two very good teams. Reason looking absolutely fantastic. Infused had some unlucky games as well, but looking on top form recently. What do you think about this one?
I think that Infused have maybe a better chance of winning just because they're playing with a stand-in, and generally teams play not better, but they play with no pressure on them, so they're going to be more excited in the game. They're going to be doing stuff they won't normally do, so I think Reason have to be prepared for that. And if they're not in a best of one, a few rounds in, Infused could take the lead 7-0 or something like that. So I think maybe Infused.
Maybe Infused for sure. Right, get back to aim training. Go on, off you go. Right, it's Tom, back over to you, mate.
Thank you very much, Lottie. Thank you very much to Mighty Max. So, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to our first fixture of the day, and potentially a pivotal one in the playoff picture. Reason are joint top of the table with Imi's endpoint and have, of course, already qualified. What will happen then when they face Infused, who simply have to win and hope that Method and Envy both slip up later on? So, getting that much-needed win won't be easy for Infused then, but they can draw encouragement from a great win over Prophecy last week.
We need to win today pretty much. It's do or die now, so hopefully we get the result in today.
Fry needs to be critical here, but Fry will snap the neck of Gecko, ready for more shot. Fry lands the shot on Zek, he didn't even mean to.
Prophecy, unfortunately, not able to defend that bomb site. Able to spam through and find that shot, but luckily Fry has an AK in his hands. That is 2 kills in the backline. Very horrible situation to be in now for Prophecy.
Or from Zek, but unfortunately for Infused, you can see the celebration coming out as right now.
Anssi is only just going down. Aaron responding as well, takes him to Pound Town.
They weren't expecting the firepower there.
So easy, as he really deep frap flies him. Fry's attack as he gets 1, gets 2, popping heads like a madman once again. He gets taken down. It will be a 9-6 scoreline at the half there. Carlo Packy gets 1 as well. Gecko, ooh, as he gets the hat-trick.
They tame the beast. 9-9. The final kill found by Fry.
It is going to be the hat-trick for Fry, and another round going to be going the way of Infused. Close to closing it out. They will secure victory over Prophecy. Infused take the win.
I think it's just easier if I just take the labels off and then put them back on. But
I think that's cheating.
Yes, a great little match against Prophecy last week, all to play for. Let's have a look at the Infused lineup today. The lads who have got it all on their shoulders. You will not see one person in that picture. That's because it's the coach, the motivator, Neil Murphy. But what do you make of the lineup?
You also don't see Aaron.
You do not see Aaron. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it looks like he's not playing today, but instead they've replaced him with Batham, which...
Or Batham.
Or Batham, I suppose, but I think he'd prefer Batham. So he's a prominent player in the UK scene, been around for a long time, played CSS at high level. CSGO he's not really delved into too deeply, he's been kind of on the outside, just kind of playing when he kind of feels like it. Doesn't feel like he wants to invest too much time.
So he sounds like he's match fit. But, yeah. But what sort of role does that mean that they'll push him towards? Like lurking or what sort of?
I think he can do most of it at this point. It's obviously he won't be like an IGL because that's a bit of an interesting situation to be put into. But he has the raw aiming ability to just go in there and just do that role quite easily. He's played the game long enough to just, he has the game sense there and it can be applied in certain ways.
Yeah, we definitely saw it for, I believe it was for Reason when they had a stand-in player that came in. They've got the potential. We'll see how that goes. But who would be the star man? It's still got to be Fry. Fry's got a lot of pressure on his shoulders then, surely.
Yeah, like the past 2 weeks, he's been incredible, really. Third week on the chart, you'd like to think due to averages, it will come down at some point. But if he is to come out with another performance like this, then fair play to him, really.
Oh, God help Reason. Is it Reason? Yes.
Yeah.
It's awfully confused, yeah. But obviously, Reason, one of the top teams, it's going to be very, very challenging, especially losing the in-game leader. I'm not entirely sure what they're going to be doing to replace that. Neil call? Hashtag Neil you call?
Zed's been calling something. Yeah, Zed's been IGL all season.
So I mean, throwing forward, looking forward past this match, you've got a situation where if they don't win, what happens? You know, new coach, do they build the team around Fry? Is that the best thing to do? I'm
not really sure. Like, obviously, Fry is the centerpiece of the team. You'd like to say, he's quite young and he's a star player in itself already. So you would think that you can build around him, but it's just what do you surround him with? Like, do you get a traditional IGL in who will actually properly tell him what to do, or do you let him freely roam around? We saw from season 1 when they had Red Snake in there, Fry was performing really well. This season they've got Zed in, who's not your traditional IGL, but he is trying to work that piece into himself. And he's been, start of the season he was quite, subpar, and then this season he slowly got into it as the season progressed. So it is possible that they could build on that.
So the IGL will be Nil M. Very interesting stuff then. Listen, Fry's definitely the fragger. For anyone new to CSGO, then this is something to explain what the fragger is.
An entry fragger is the person on the team who normally goes into a bomb site first.
An entry fragger is the guy who runs first and makes space for your teammates.
So an entry fragger is someone that get information for your team and getting entry frags.
So on Mirage, say we're doing A execute, I'm always the person that'll go up A ramp first into the bomb site, try and get the first few kills.
If you go in and you do die, other people can come in and clean up.
Well, basically the entry fragger goes in first and tries to make as much kills as possible before dying.
You need to be fearless, you need to not care about stats, you need to go in and do your job.
You also have to have a good confidence going into the match. You have to feel like you can aim out these guys you are up against.
Knowledge of the maps, knowledge of positions, and good communication. If you don't get those first trades, you need to let your team know where they are so they can then trade you after.
Of course, you need a good aim and don't be afraid to die.
Cobblestone, so normally I always go out B plat and hold up there, you can look onto the site.
Personally, I'd say Inferno is a good map for entry fragging. Love going on B bomb site.
Cash B site, you just walk in and you have 2 to 3 places to clear. I think I have the best aim in here and the greatest reactions.
I can check corners really fast with my sensitivity.
Fast reflexes, I've been known for that.
All in my experience I've got, I've been playing the game now for 11, 12 years now.
My aim is really good and I have quick reactions.
I think my best quality as an entry fragger is my aim, so the ability to just kill someone as quick as I can.
Entry fragging explained. So there you go, some of the best players in the Elite Series there. Gentlemen, I'd like Harold to lead us through something right now. Can we please talk about the decision making? This is something we do for the Elite Series, break down some of the plays. It would be in the screen behind you. So let's talk about Link. Round 28 against Prophecy.
Oh.
Yeah, why not? Talk to me as well.
Let's have a spin. So what we've got here is a very, very interesting round. Now, it is match point on the board for Team Infused. Of course, they're standing here, Link. Now, the key point, okay, is that the map control from Prophecy is atrocious here. They have no information. Look at that. They are all so far back, they see nothing. Later on in the round, you may expect a bit of aggression. You may think, okay, they're going to push somewhere, try and find something out. No, nothing. They are all sat all the way back. And so Infused make the decision to just push forward, get what they can, work it forward. Okay, you can see 2 players sitting over towards that B bomb site. They're preparing for a strike. But little do they know on the side of Prophecy, it is a fake. So smokes go over, bit of utility, pop it in, and the rotate is forced as soon as these players over at B prepare to push. So you see the bomb has arrived now. Link, the lone lurker, he's going to be on his own, just trying to do a little bit of work as he pushes his way through. And again, there's absolutely no map control. You can see that just the use of utility is pushing back Prophecy. They're all being penned into the same area. They have absolutely nothing. No long control, no B plat control, no drop control. They have nothing at this point. And so Link walks in, finds the kill on the rotate because they find out it's a fake. Suddenly it's a 5v3. Okay, they get a kill back, but the trades all come in. Zed walks in, taking heads. Link comes in from behind, and there's absolutely nothing Prophecy can do.
So what do we make of that in terms of their decision-making? What does it sort of break down? Are they communicating well as a team? Because they're going to have to do that today against a very strong Reason team.
They're going to have to make some serious decisions. That's what I'm going to say.
Some serious decisions have to be done.
Decisions.
Well, first of all, serious decisions have to be done by Reason. What lineup have they gone with? Csgo, shed some light on them, please.
Yeah, so they're back to the regular 5, which has proved to be very successful for them thus far. Like, obviously, Minette was missing for that 1 week where Zeo stood in, where they got the winner of Epsilon in double overtime. But overall, the lineup's been, you know, above average in my expectations. I thought they would be a third, fourth sitting team, and thus far they've beaten everybody in front of them other than Envy, obviously in week 1, where you could argue that they weren't, as well prepared, I suppose.
Results have been very good for them. KS has been in fantastic form, so is Tessus. They're a good bunch of lads to have around the arena. They always seem bubbly, full of confidence. Surely with that sort of confidence, the way they've been playing, you can definitely see them making it potentially to the final. Yeah,
definitely. I think the thing that's quite big for them is it hasn't just been one standout player. Like 1 week it's KS, 1 week it's Basso, 1 week it's Tessus. And even Haste last week, he was proving, even from IGL, he was pushing forward and getting a lot of kills. He's pumping up his own team. Like, we're behind, we need to do something. I'll bring the boys up myself.
Do you know what helped? When we did the live picks, I gave him a little fist bump and I said, you're going to have a great game today. And he went, okay. And he went and did that. So I'm not going to do that today because he's up there. Well, it's not biased, it's just being friendly. Like each week, someone gets my...
So you're saying you influenced the game so that they won?
Unbelievable. Listen, when those vetoes start coming in, 7 maps to choose from. As it goes down, the final map will be Cutaway, which will leave you with that one to go. So Neil M and Haste in there. 2 pairs of hoodies ready for this.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon? Because Team Infused have played
Cobble 4 times.
4 times, got a 50% win rate on that. And Train and is it Mirage they played on as well?
Yeah, they played Mirage against XL in that surprising loss.
And so they've lost those 2. So what would you do then, based from Reason? They've got rid of Cash. Don't know if I would have agreed with that.
I think that's just been a standard veto for them this far. They've vetoed Cash in 5 of the 6 weeks so far, Reason. So that seems to make a set, we'll always not play that. Getting rid of Cobble seems standard. Like, I think Infused have got the most games played on that out of any team so far this season, by at least 1. And we're going to Train. So we'll also Train for Reason in week 2 against Prophecy, and they dismissed them quite well as regular win. And obviously they did have that loss against Envy in week 1. But I don't know, I feel like Infused are kind of okay with this pick. Like, they played against Epsilon, and they were quite unfortunate, really, to not do better in that situation. So I think it's quite a balanced pick, really. A
balanced pick, but it's definitely in the favour of Reason, you would have to say. In week 1 and 2, they beat Prophecy and Envy on Train. They lost to Envy on Train. So it's a kind of, again, it's a 50-50, really, for them. What would you say, Harold, put on the spot there? It's a 50-50 game, really. Who would you go for?
I wouldn't agree with that statement, but I would go with Reason Gaming.
Okay. You don't think a 50-50?
I don't think this is 50-50.
Okay. All right. Too strong a side, Reason, or do you just think that it's Infused without their IGL?
Yeah, I think it's, well, roster changes come in, fine, they're skilled players, but it's a lack of structure in a week that really, really matters, and against Reason, I think they're just going to pick them apart.
Okay. Still 50-50 in the fact that it's 2 teams playing, but all right,
that's up to you.
Let's
not really how probability works. I suppose
let's not break it. It could 50-50 for who could win. All right, but
50-50.
All right, Essia, who are you going to go for?
I think that's to go with Reason. I think they're the more drilled team in this situation, and trainers on map you need to be quite drilled, have execute, setups, and everything else, really. So.
And definitely held a 2-horse race for this one, or?
I think there's actually 10 players.
Okay, cool. Fair point. Right, I'm going to walk across to these two gentlemen over here. I feel like it's going to be a long day, but also a beautiful day. Jackie, Snods, what do you reckon? 2-horse race, definitely a 10-horse race. Is it 50-50? Who's going to win this?
For this first one, I'm going to have to be leaning for potentially Reese, and obviously currently first in the whole league out of all the 10 teams, or the 8 teams, sorry. But yeah, for me, best team here. So the question is, can they keep that going forward? Then again, we saw, you know, last season, Team Envious, they eventually dropped them out versus Endpoint in the last week. I'm going to be seeing the same again. Okay, Jackie, I mean, obviously, as a full strengthened team there for a reason, Manette's back, pop in with the AWP. So what do you reckon for this?
I think it's going to be a close affair, actually, and it comes down to the wild card that has appeared. We actually have Batham in the server, playing for the side of Infused.
Surely Batham.
Batham.
Yeah, that's how I'm going to go for it.
Well,
Bonham to his friends.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
if you know him personally.
Okay.
But it'll be exciting to witness him. He's an incredible, he's a delicacy.
So who are you going, Reason or Infused?
I'm going to go for Team Batham. I'm just going to go for Batham individually.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah, okay, so Team Infused.
Yeah,
All
sure.
right, cool, it's done. You see that on your screen in front of you? You've failed to give me a prediction.
I said Reason.
But there you go.
I said
and he said the reason
There you go.
is
There,
love.
now it's put in. Now it's
gentlemen, enjoy, train. Infused need this win because Reason have already got it. I'll leave it with you, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, it's true. Obviously, who is going to be getting their first-class train all the way down to Victory Town, or who is going to be sitting by the toilets with no seats? Will it be Infused or will it be Reason?
Guess we're about to find out. Obviously, going to be the first game of the final week of the regular season here, Season 2 of the Elite Series, and it all comes down to this. Infused fighting for their tournament life, essentially. We saw it last week with Excel versus Envious on that nuke matchup where Excel, even though they had all to play for, they still couldn't conjure up that win and they fell short. I believe it was like 16-8, 16-9. It wasn't close at all. Going forward now for Infused, you're down one of your star players. Aaron is such a fundamental piece of this puzzle for the boys in red. And going forward, bringing in Batham, as you know and love.
Batham.
How is that going to change things?
I'm excited to see a bit of Batham going into today's games, Toms. I think that's Tom. Snods even, rather. I mean, I prefer Tom, but
yeah,
I've got to deal with what I've been served, really.
Exactly, mate.
But no, it should be exciting. Actually, Batham, actually quite a flashy player, obviously. We haven't seen too many high-level teams too much anymore. I believe he focuses more on his actual sort of real-life counterparts.
University. Can't blame him, yeah.
He's quite busy. But when he does actually show up into matchups, normally in this role, we see him not more in mixes, sort of Fish 1, 2, 3, X tournaments. We see that a lot of the time. Batham shows up quite a lot. He's a very good individual fragger, and he's consistent, is the key.
Yeah, what's nice as well, for a sub that's joining this roster, just for this week, is he's actually an entry fragger. That makes things so much easier. You know, when you've got your AWP that's a sub in, or you've got your, you know, one of your second players, your lurk player that's got a sub in, there's so much chemistry that revolves around that role. For an entry fragger, essentially, you go in first, you die, you know, your teammate behind you trades that first kill, you get onto the site and blah, blah, you know, it all happens. But the thing is, when you're subbing in this role, it makes life so much easier.
You know what's actually hard, though? A point that not a lot of people realize about Batham, even though he's been around for so long, actually played quite massively. Even one of his former teammates from Link Gaming being in this team right now in Zed, obviously, he hasn't actually played on the big stage that many times. Back in Source, it was never really as prominent. The only time we really saw him play on a big stage recently in CSGO was when they were able to make it to the grand finals of the ESL UK Championships a little while back when he was playing for Reason Gaming himself.
Did he join, you know those UK Masters finals we casted? That was T-Sac, Robin, was Batham on that?
I don't think Batham was on that line.
No, it was Roma instead of, yeah, exactly. So you're right in terms of experience, obviously a wealth of experience.
Online by far.
Exactly. And of course, former teammate Zed, that's why the sub was brought in. Aaron, not sure why he's away, but obviously condolences to him. It's going to be the first round going forward. Infused starting on the T side. It's going to be Zed buying up the utility. Obviously, the new IGL for the roster, new role he's been filling into. And Batham, with confidence into this first round of the Elite Series, instantly buys up the Desert Eagle.
Well, let's see what he can do. He's rolling back the years. He's trying to play it like it's Source. Let's see if he can whip out something sneaky with that Deagle play, as that will be quite exhilarating to see if he can. Haste holding towards Ivy early on, those Snods.
Exactly. Zed can throw smoke towards lower, try and throw flashbangs and set a fake towards the B-bomb site. So Haste rotates, but you can see Haste hasn't moved just yet. He's going to land the kills.
Oh, peeks through, but doesn't quite take anyone down just yet. Struggling, gets dinked down to 2 HP as well. And Infused find the first entry frag, as Fry will be the one to strike first, as they now explode out on towards A. They've secured a lot of control here as well. They're actually getting out. Link's dealing damage. Dances comes through. Manette just struggling to do absolutely anything at all. He couldn't compose himself. And it's all on to KS. Everyone on Infused still alive and kicking. Zed finds the final frag with a headshot as well. It's a clean house.
It is indeed. The pistol now being won for the side of Infused. Very, you know, standard play. You sell your fake towards the B-bomb site. You try and force the LA player to rotate away. That means less of a defense towards Ali, towards Ivy, towards the backline trains, where Haste went towards Green Train. Sunny allows the Infused players to push up, they get closer, Fry lands that first kill, Link finds a second, 5 versus 3, and they swarm the site and it's theirs. So it's going to be now round number 2.
And that's the thing as well, what are we going to see from Reason coming out to this as well? You can see with the buy, they have gone for more of a force. Looks like they are going to be going aggressive, Snods.
They are indeed. Chaos pushing towards B. Dancy, don't think he's seen the head just yet, but obviously these Zeds close range, Jack, we know the power they hold on to.
Oh, they can really pack a punch. A lot of stopper power behind these close-range weapons, especially when you go for a bit of a cheeky counterplay like this as well. If they don't realize, especially with KS finding that initial frag, Basso is now in the back line. Unfortunately, this isn't as impactful as it is, but they still have a lot of map control from this.
Now it's the complete reversal from the pistol where Reason game a controller B, they know it's going to be played towards the A site now.
But here he is, the man himself, the Bayfum, trying to kick it off as he wants to tiptoe his way through. Unleashes hell with his Mat 10, but can't quite get the frag just yet. Does find the headshot. Fry backs him up as well as he starts to spray and pray with the AK and deal deadly blows. There's Link coming in with a headshot. Trade back on KS as Bayfum will fall short, but Link is still just popping heads consistently. Link is incredible when he has these rifles in his hands as well, especially in these rounds. If you can let Link build confidence early, he's going to be so impactful in the late game.
Precisely, it's so important that you get your star players, especially ones that rely on aim as well. Sean Gers said in an interview once where he would have Shroud push and play aggressive versus Eco Frags, versus Force Buys to get those early kills, to get confidence with your aim, to get warmed up into the matchup. If your star player, a player as explosive as Link, is warmed up and ready to deliver, he can open up rounds, he can change the course of rounds from 5 versus 3s into 3 versus 3s. He's someone you want firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's like, you know, preheating an oven.
Exactly.
You pop it on for 5 minutes before.
Exactly.
When you do put the pizza in, it cooks perfectly.
Exactly. You preheat it during the ecos, and it's ready for the buy rounds.
Exactly. KS, though, trying to deal some damage on this round, but Fry will be a little bit too hot to handle there. Does take him down eventually. Upgrades to a free CZ as well, as they do get through that round. Looked like it was going to be a bit awkward towards the start, but a good recovery.
Good recovery indeed. 3 players staying alive as well versus the Force Buy of Reason Gaming. Minute only investing into the Diga, which means most likely to be seeing him wood in the open to the first buy round. Actually, the only match I believe Reason have lost was the first week. Envious versus Reason. If you remember, it was like 16-13. It was a very close matchup, and it was on train, and Reason Game actually lost that. Bringing out this map again, is they going to be bringing back those bad memories?
Yeah, it's true. Well, let's see, as this should be a little bit of an easy one. Basically just aim practice. All they need to do is go through, use their marksmanship skills with these rifles and SMGs, and just really try to get the last of the economy soaked out of Reason, as they haven't invested at all. It's just the taser on KS, surprisingly.
Exactly that. Try and avoid casualties, have 4 or 5 stay alive, stack up the kills, the Mac 10s from Batham and Dances, especially Dances as your AWPer as well. You really want the $600 kill onto your AWP and start playing.
Ooh, Batham trying to stay alive as he bounds out. Luckily, it was Fry and Link to actually back him up. Vaso does get 2 into the round, so they force out 2 rebuys anyway out the side of Infused. KS coming down with a taser as he wants to make this round a little bit more electrifying, but unfortunately, he isn't going to be able to.
Isn't indeed. And they will go now to 3-0. Infused claiming the first pistol, getting the win versus the Force by the Eco, and now going to the first buy round of this first matchup of week number 7. What is the call going to be? Are they going to carry forward these Mac 10s? They can play a very high octane style of CS into this first buy round. Maybe go for smokes towards outside, go a heavy pop play. Out through pop, try swarm the A site with speed. Or you can try go for the execution, get those Mac 10s up close.
Looks like a bit of a risky play as well from the net there. Going to go for the glass cannon AWP nods. What do you reckon we're going to see him actually do with this?
On a map like Train, you can go glass cannon just because you can play so passive and have so much success. You can see he's playing these long-range angles towards Green Train, peeking in towards Team Main, playing towards Ali, peeking in towards, of course, Ali as well. And what that means is, it's very likely he lands the first bullet anyway. If you're playing maps like sometimes Mirage, you're playing around Connector, you're playing around Jungle, that can get very tedious if you are playing without Kevlar. Map like Cash as well, if you're playing on the A side, you're playing in towards A main. But you can see here, the range he has is like a safety buffer.
Well, he tries to go for the opening shot. Unfortunately, doesn't land the flick, though. But he gets the info off the back of it. They know there is at least 1 player towards Ivy. The rest of them grouped up in a free piece here towards mid-main as well as the flashbang comes over, but the CTs aren't going to go for a deep play. They just hold back. They've secured a lot of map control from that as well, but KS falls short. Zed on the lurk, up to his old tricks as he opens it up.
And now they can slow the round right down. Infused, of course, the rotation to come out from Basso towards the B bomb side. The thing we haven't actually noted just yet, Jack, is the fact that Reason Gaming have no defuse kits. If this bomb is planted towards A, towards B, a retake with an AWP, no Kevlar, 2 flashbangs, all the utility they have, and no defuse kit, it's not looking good.
All their firepower starting to dwindle away as well. Luckily, they strike back. It's actually a free K that comes through. A double kill from Tessus and 1 kill from Annette as he strikes with the AWP, leaving them in a 3v2. This is manageable, but it's Fry and Dances, the 2 young guns that definitely can land a few sucker punches.
Minette needs to go huge. He actually lands that frag from up close. If he missed that shot, without the Kevlar, could have gone south, and now it's all down to Fry, the one player you want in this scenario.
He's into the fray, but unfortunately it isn't going to be a clutch from Fry today. He will go down as they strike first, remove him from the equation, and Reason do get that opening round on the board to at least try and set the pace. Risky, though. It looked like it was going incredibly wrong for them, but towards the end there, just a nice flurry of frags came through from Tessus and Minette.
Yeah, I mean, what? They had the first 2 kills towards A main, towards Ali as well. Oh, sorry, towards B and towards A main. They find the first 2 entry frags, then from there, it all just falls apart. I believe it was Zed peeking over zealously towards Blue Train. Dances was actually holding towards Connector. Players were holding for peaks, while other players were trying to push towards the site. Didn't quite fall together in place. Anyway, that would be round number 5, 3-1. Reason Gaming going to be wielding the UMP onto KS. This time they do have Diffuse kits onto Haste and KS. AK's salvage as well off of the corpses from Infused. So far, it's looking good for Reason Gaming. They now gain control of team A, so they can smoke this off, leave it, rotate an extra player towards the B side if they want to, as it seems heavily likely now that Infused are poised to eventually commit towards the B bomb site. KS, he's actually been a really good anchor towards Train. If you remember watching the games from previous and prior in this season, KS has been one of the staples of Train for Reason Gaming.
Let's see how it will actually go down though towards this B-bomb site as Haste. Right now just going for a bit of an early contact play. We'll spam away with the M4, at least keep them dubious of what they're up to. Tessus actually could go for the backstab as well. I believe he's just playing close towards underneath ladder right now on Pop Dog. As soon as they go for this place, Nons, he could try backstab.
Yeah, no Molotovs though. If they had a Molotov with 40 seconds left to counteract this execute, it'd be perfect.
Oh, the execute is coming out though as they want to explode their way through. Let's see if Haste and Co can live up to the hype. Haste comes in with the opening headshot and a double as well, takes down Link. Tessus in the rear, but he seemed confused. Switches around at the wrong timing and actually goes down, falls short because of this. Basso with 1 kill, and there's the final from KS though to shut it down. A bit of a weird round, but nevertheless, it is still going to go in the favor of Reason Gaming.
Infused there, not taking any control of the map. They give up control of team main. They show no presence towards Ali as well. What it means is very obvious as to where Infused are going to be eventually ending their round, where they're going to be choosing to commit to, because if there's no presence shown towards their main, the CTs are pushed in and they have control of it, they can leave a player there, they can smoke it off. Your AWP has seen nothing towards Ali. Usually there's a flashbang, usually there's a player jumping. You know they're either going to be going heavy pop, and Tessus has pushed pop all the way. They're forced and funneled in towards this B-bomb site.
Basso. Always is a bit of a cheeky angle, Snods. If they push through, they don't clear it, especially when they cross as well. He gets vision on them earlier. You can try and go for these opening kills. There's the opening headshot, peeks through as well. They do not have any range to play with. Just easy spray down for him on this eco, just making quick work of everyone as the headshots just soar through from good old Basso.
Usually, Basso has his impact in a 1 versus 3, a 1 versus 2, but then again, he holds on to so much of that raw talent, that pure firepower. So, we are going into round number 7, I believe. Scoreline will read 3-3 as Reason Gaming, as soon as the buy rounds have come to fruition now, Jack, Reason Gaming been able to claim all 3 of them. And it will be 5 AKs as well. No AWP for Dances. He's trying to get a pick towards team main. He hasn't really tried to challenge the AWP from Minette towards Ali yet, or gone towards B to get the first pick onto KS, so we'll be opting for the rifle instead. And speaking of rifles, it's going to be KS and Basso with a rifle push towards B, but is it going to be fast enough?
Oh, I'm a big fan of this play as well because it actually allows them to rotate over very effectively and backstab upon this team Infused push that's coming in towards the A site. Bayfam does damage though as he finds that kill towards Tessus. Basso playing around the smoke. He is blocked off towards Pop Dog, but it's dissipated. He's allowed to peek, gets Bayfam, gets the second as well as he finds the follow-up kill. He's basically just closed out the round there, leaving Link and Zed fairly spread thin. They're not really too effectively close together and they have to recover that bomb. This is going to be an awkward round.
It will indeed. All down onto Link, the newest player, the newest addition to the roster. KS does spot him out, but eventually I believe he went towards Sandwich, but actually Link pushing towards Olof, goes for the first frag, manages to dink him through the train, leaving it down to the 1 versus 1. Basso, the one player you do not want to be up against on Reason in a 1 versus 1 clutch scenario. Also, 15 HP, only a flashbang to work with. Let's just try and work out exactly where Basso is.
Well, let's see what he can do here, Snods. Right now, Basso, 100 HP, all the utility in the world, and he's got a kit as well, so no matter what Link does, this is going to be a very hard round, fought to the bitter end, as he will slowly make his approach in. Knows the location of the bomb. It isn't contested. It's not being held by Basso, so he does have freedom to grab it. He's only got 28 seconds left to play with. If he wants to be risky, he can try and go towards B, but crossing towards Pop Dog opens himself up. The line of sight is there, and Basso doesn't miss a trick.
Surgical shot there through the tiny gap from Ali. And you can hear Neil not exactly too happy with how things have favoured ever since the buy rounds came around. Once again, though, Reason Gaming going for the CT aggression. We saw Tessus push towards PopDog in the last round. They pushed towards Team A as well. This buy round, you now have KS and Bassa pushing towards B. They have the flank coming in towards PopDog. And so far, Reason Gaming are the ones really showing us CT aggression, and it's paying off with information and those crucial mid-round kills.
Oh yeah, they're living up to it. They're showing that the best offense, the best defense is a good offense there, as they are just pushing out and being able to get into these aggressive angles. It's working well. Right here though, Infused, actually great timing for Fry as he swoops down, takes down Tessus. This is going a little bit wrong for Reason. Actually overextended, but it's coming back to bite them. But Manette with the AWP finds a double as he's being pushed thick and fast, but luckily he has now put a stop to it. He's slowing them down, gives himself enough time to try and reset, will be killed by Fry as he has that scavenged M4 as it comes down to a 2 versus 3. They are stronger in terms of their arsenals, Nods, but Infused do have good post-plant positions. Bayfum, though, unfortunately not going to clear the correct angle. Haste just given a golden opportunity there for 2 frags as no one could support each other. They're basically having to play 1v1s, and it all comes down to Fry in a clutch, whose face is going to get peeled off by KS.
No Kevlar, no real chance. That's now the bomb was planted towards default. You had the player, one of the players was default, and also Haste. They're coming from behind this time as well. Again, pushing towards B. As soon as they know there's a heavy player towards outside, the CT aggression has been so correct. Coming out from Reason. Casting Pro League as well. Casting Hellraise is watching how Angel depicts his CT sides. Reminds me a lot of this, where Angel would call for so many aggressive CT plays. It'd always be pushes towards B, pushes towards PopDog. And there's always well-timed pushes coming out from him himself. The reason being is, when you have a new roster, it's so hard to integrate your individual calls as a caller and spread them across your roster.
Oh. Zed barely hanging on there as he finds that frag, but that's a true point to work with. And the fact is as well, obviously, for Infused, in terms of as much structure, they're a bit limited. You don't have Aaron, that's a very key player of the team. He's quite consistent in what he does. Obviously, it's a little bit different in how Bayfum works as an individual. But coming into this, it seems like their constant aggression is what was coming back to bite them. We see Reason always going up for those very close angles, playing crossfires where they are deep for info. If Infused dial it back a little bit, like they're playing it slow now, and they've got the first frag, there should be potential to pick this round up, especially when they take these 1v1 firefights. They can win these individual duels.
Reminiscent of the matchup last week, where versus the Bulgarians, when they started playing their defaults, they were winning these rounds because the opposition were walking into their crosshairs, but now it's the complete opposite. As once the quote-unquote commit comes, there's no flashbangs, there's no utility. Once again, Jack, it's all crumbled.
Yeah, they've walked straight in and they've just been taken out. Nothing has worked for them, even with the flashbang to back them up. So it's just on Zed as well. Last alive as per usual. Surely shouldn't be alive for too long. 10 HP is all he has to his name up against this terrifying trio on the side of Reason. The bomb miles away as well. He's just wandering around like a lost child.
Exactly. Someone please find Zed. There's 30 seconds left, just going to be saving the AK. Does the typical tilted player look where he knifes the air. Showing us he's having a whale of a time.
Yes, indeed. As he is over towards B, just waiting. Essentially just offering himself up as a sacrifice. No one's looking for him, though. Everyone's still just holding strong on the side of Reason.
It's like he's trying to die.
He's putting the effort in.
Oh, dear. So we'll be saving, obviously. As we go into round number 10, it's going to be double digits in terms of rounds. And so far, 6 claimed from Reason Gaming. 6 on the trot as well. So it will be the maximum round loss bonus for Infused. But no bomb plant means, once again, they may not be able to afford a strong buy going forward. This is the thing. If you remember, we were casting them last week versus Prophecy on Cobblestone, and then they were doing the same setup where they group together and they play a very obvious set play where they burst the site as a 5-man unit. They try to play the trade game into the sites, try to get the trade frags off of their entry fraggers. The problem is, it was when they did their default, they found success, and this the exact same happened last round. You had Zed holding towards B, you had Link holding towards A main, they both find kills early on. It's a 5 versus 3, and then in the mid-round, there's no utility used, and they just walk into the crossfires of Reason Gaming.
Well, you can hear how heated everything is right now as well. Obviously, for Neil, someone that, as we know, very passionate in moments of hype, can be very loud, very aggressive, likes to try and keep everyone pumped up, but he has very low lows as well. And this is the frustration there, because things aren't going right at all. Obviously, he's trying to throw some extra info in, bounce off of Zed a little bit, provide some more strategy potentially to the team, and because it's not working, there's a lot of frustration between all these individual players. And you've got to imagine the morale right now on that T side. It's only early into this matchup, and it looks pretty somber. Everyone looks pretty down.
Indeed, they are fighting for their tournament lives as well. So, going forward, round number 10, it's going to be 4 AKs and a Galil coming up for Dances. They will be mustering together some sort of a buy. One Molotov to Fry. How many smokes as well? I believe it is 5. 5 smokes. They can go for an execution. They can hold and then later go for the execution. You said as well, you heard as well, Neil saying, I said to smoke right side. I said to do this with the grenades. And the players weren't following suit. But finally, we're seeing more of a default. 1 towards team main, 2 towards alley, 2 towards pop dog. Very, very typical default coming out now for the side of Infused. You can split and pincer this A bomb side. 2 towards alley, 2 towards pop dog, 1 towards team main. Try suffocate the CT side.
Let's see if they actually can find success or if this is going to be a mission that will go wrong. Bayfront right now passing the bomb back up towards above Pop Dog as he does work his way down. He can try and make some noise over towards that A site. They are setting themselves up. The lurk coming through as well. The contact face from Manette actually overpowers Zed this time, and they're allowed to fall back. They once again have that opening frag under their belt.
5 versus 4. Minute left on the clock here. 2 players towards alley still. Batham now alone outside B. Has the bomb. This time, though, Tessus isn't pushed or got close. Smoke comes out there from KS with only 45 seconds left, which means when that smoke fades, it's going to be 30 or 25 seconds left. Infused really have to up the tempo here. They have to make their mark soon.
Manette, just another free frag. Fry just peeking into him. Dancy's forced to fall back. This looks so incoherent. No one really working together, just peeking 1v1, offering free fights to everyone on the side of Reason. There was no potential for a trade, even to just try and crossfire at all there. What is going wrong, Snods?
I think we've seen, what, 4 CT pushes now towards B? Something ridiculous like that. Or maybe even 5 as well, when you consider the fact that there's a round where Haste and, what was it? Basso and KS weren't spotted.
Well, the thing is, it's not even as if they're doing it just for information, then falling back as well. It's being seen every time. They're finding the frags on Zeds. There's trades multiple times. They're still getting into the backline. They're aware of it. Normally in that scenario, you hold for it. You just mentally assume they are going to be able to go for this play once more. It's like when you take aggressive mid-control, Mirage.
So Basso now aggressive towards Heaven. Has the support off of KS. Zed walks in actually to the crosshair of Basso, but wins that duel with the season up close and personal. Will claim that frag. It's going to be a 4 versus 4 as Manette chimes in, takes Batham out of the server. As the sub is put to the bench, it seems. 1 minute 20 left on the clock. Another play is actually to come towards the B bomb. So from Infused, Link alone towards A. Has no utility. An ideal situation right now would be he can smoke outside, he can flash Molotov, try to sell some sort of a fake, and force KS to rotate towards A. But it seems anyway, it will be happening regardless. There's kits right now for the CT side. They have an AWP as well playing backlines on the B bomb, so they can give this site up. Have Manette try and find 1 or 2 kills versus the pistols and play a very clean clinical retake.
Manette going to come in with that shot off on towards Zed though. He's able to reposition now as he knows they're pushing through. Dancy's been the only real threat from the range they're playing. Fryer's going to have to get up close and personal, which he does. Actually gets in, but doesn't quite grab that kill. Gets him incredibly low, though, but barely holds on. Dancy's arm with the AK is dispatched as well. Manette's just bounding around. He's got a 4K into the round. They've all peaked him 1v1. Never into this matchup has he had to go for a 1v2 firefight yet. KS for the final headshot as well, and Reason get that round. Their CT side looking crisp.
Yeah, already claimed 8 rounds. Essentially already won the half as a bare minimum. Can't be looking too harshly, though, at Infused after that round. It was going to be the quasi-buy. CZ's careful. They found the first kill from Zed onto Heaven. Obviously, they wanted to group back towards the B site, but again, these AWPs are finding success across the map. Manette, they have 3 crucial frags. And the thing is very obvious, well, they're playing retake. Manette will get 1 kill, then they retake together as a unit. They're okay with the bomb going down. They know they have confidence in these rounds where Infused still have the weaponry, the AWPs, the AKs. They care more so about their own money.
Okay, well, this looks a little bit better. You can see the 2 players that are now playing in a duo towards outside of B. Dancy's and Link are actually just holding for the push. They're not overextending. They're literally just holding there with their crosshairs ready on the angle in case there is an info play from Reason. They've adapted there, at least. Meanwhile, towards Wood as well, Fry able to get the free frag off the back of it. Just play with time and play a little bit more slowly and actually play as duos. And Infuse should be able to take these fights.
So now they have the man advantage to work with. Usually what happens in this sort of scenario is right now they'd lose that player. Manette would kill someone towards alley, or Basso would push, or KS would push and get a kill. And this is it. Again, counter-aggression coming in from Haste. He's found the 4 versus 4, and now it sets up the exact same scenario where Infused are pushed back onto their back heels. But let's see, 3 versus 3, the bomb goes down. Can Infused get good after plant positions and push back lines?
Yeah, it becomes manageable. Off the back of that 1v1 trade, it's actually a fair firefight now, especially when you get stuff like this coming out from Link. This is where he can be quite explosive. He's very aggressive in his individual plays. Likes to try and go for the more wild aggression, but it does come back to bite you in situations like that, where Basso finds him and takes him down. Now left with just 2 players. Batham needs to stay alive quite critically here, as he's the one with the Molotov.
I was about to say as well, that Molotov is fundamental if they want a chance trying to claim this one. Haste with the kit. And the time does tick away. No smoke, he can't just use as a shroud wall, just try and stick the defuse. Does he expect the peak to come out? He doesn't! And there you have it, both of them catches him off guard, and finally a buy round has been won for Infused. They topple the 8-round streak that was mounted by Reason Gaming. You know what I'm going to say, Jack? The reset potential is now on the cards for Infused. They only had one player staying alive, that being Batham. Their buy most likely is going to be weak, maybe some UMPs. Let's see, as the buys are coming through. 8-4 is going to be the score as we're going to round number 13. Still got 3 more rounds to play out. Can Infused bring this one back and have an 8-7 half? And actually the money's up better than I thought. So, surprises, surprises, as they will have a full buy going forward. 4 AKs, AWP for Dancies. And again, aggression, this time with an AWP towards B, no longer the rifles.
This is what I was curious about as well, because you see Reason adapt instantly off the back of losing 1 round. They changed their formula a little bit here and go for the double AWP setup. KS actually holding quite an aggressive angle, is wide in the open. Yeah,
also conversely, you can see how passive Reason Gaming are playing towards Pop Dog, playing towards Team Main. You have Tessus playing Sandwich with the rifle, but apart from that, it's very smart aggression. They smoke off the end of the valley, they isolate certain positions as to where Infused can be, so they limit off the angles that Infused can hold from. And from there, they systematically gain control of this map itself. Batham, there's a bit of an inkling there. Someone's pushed and unfortunately goes for the jiggle peek, gives away their first kill. KS as well gives away their second. 5 versus 3 already with 50 seconds left to play for.
That's the AWP's paid off as well. They go for their deep frags, they get the opening entry as well. You take down the lurker and Batham. The bomb is completely isolated, no one's there. Tester's pushing through. If he actually extended around, he would have that. And all they'd have to do is at that point just hold angles. Right now as well, Infused, so limited what they can actually do. Zed basically realizes he must make a play. Oh, lands the flick somehow as he actually will strike against Hayes. Ready for the second as well. Zed starting to roll it back a little bit here as he's making it work. He's got 25 seconds though, Snods. The timing is not in his favor.
It isn't indeed, Jack. Minute with the AWP as well towards Blue Train. Can hold the close angle towards Team Main. 16 seconds left. Only real chance of anything for Infused to save it on this AWP. As you can see, Minute still pushing. He knows that the money is strong for Reason. The money is weak for Infused. He wants this AWP frag. He needs to take away the weapon. And Zed as well misses the no-scope. 8 HP. 1 shot from the USP will take him down and claim his life. As we head into round number 14, it's going to be 9-4 and a reset now for Infused.
God, that's got to frustrate Zed as well in that scenario.
Exactly. This is the thing as well. You know that Reason Gamer pushed towards Ali. So you're okay, you're expecting, all right, they've sent 4 towards the A side. They're only leaving 1 player towards B, which is correct. There is 1 player there, but he's holding low with the AWP. And the problem is, Infused don't take control of Heaven or B up at the start of the rounds. Usually on these defaults, you'll be seeing a player molly towards Heaven and flash the close angle.
Look at this as well from Minette. He knows he's up against the weak buyer coming out from Infused, but he just pushes in, finds multiple kills with the AWP. Basso as well from the elevated angle is just able to slap down anyone that comes towards him. Zed's the final man to fall, and that is 10 rounds secured at the very least now for Reason at the half. Are they going to be able to work their way through and get that 11th, or will Infused have some kind of fight left to give in the final round of the half?
I think it's likely, Jack. Lifeless players coming out for Infused as it goes down to the wire, as their tournament life flashes before their eyes. And it's going to be another weak force buy again. This is the thing though, they're not taking control of the upper. It means that Basso can stay towards Heaven, KS can keep AWPing towards lower, or Minette AWPing towards lower as well. We've seen in other rounds where they lack control with the utility. And one of the problems is, this is a team Infused. We always harp on them when investing into AK, Kevlar, Smoke Flashbang. When they have $4,100, $4,400. This isn't a team that saves on ecos. But then again, you know, you can argue the fact that they have players like Link and Fryer that can win you those force buy rounds.
Yeah, you've got very key clutch players that can come in massively in those scenarios. But the fact is, Nudge, you need to get yourself into a winnable situation to actually be useful. And Infused are struggling. The only rounds they've won, it's been very dominant stuff. It's not like they find a slight margin to work with and slowly develop on the round. It has to be a win or nothing for them right now. Very fight or flight, but the push will be coming through anyway. Batham actually somehow gets the kill on Minette as he overwhelms him ever so slightly. There is a spam coming through. Batham essentially trapped at this point as they do want to try and go for the Pop Dog push. Batham still opening up the round as he finds his filthy headshots, but the double spray down from Tessus will start to bring it back. It's all on Batham in a 1 versus 3. Upgrades himself to an AWP. He has armor to play with as well. Quite a bit of utility, but unfortunately, as he extends round, Tessus had the angle covered.
11-4 first half, especially as well when it comes to the fact that Reason Gaming lost their first pistol. They win 11 buy rounds, Infused only claiming 1. And that 1 buy round as well was the 1 versus 1 with Batham versus Haste, and even that was so close. So, we've seen multiple times where Infused have the advantage. They claim the first frag. You know, someone from Reason Gaming pushes towards B, pushes towards team, and they walk into Link, they walk into Zed, they walk into Fry, they give away the first kill. It's a 5 versus 4, but instantly, these AWPs that you're seeing in the highlight reel as well, they come back, they bite back, they pay off their dividends later on, and they get the 4 versus 4s. And then Reason Gaming, with the teamwork, the chemistry, the cohesion that they possess, they're not going to be losing those retakes versus a team like Infused where they rely on skill, right? This Infused is a team where, in the afterplants, they're trying to out-aim you, they're trying to land those headshots.
Yeah.
For Reason Gaming, you know, that's what they want. They want to be able just to flash in, Molotov out the important position, smoke off the choke points. We saw as well in the pushing alley, they're smoking off alley. They're playing so systematic that it counters a team like Infused where they try to play less structured.
I think it's hard as well, Snons, because the thing is, Team Infused is a team that they have a lot of firepower, and when given structure, when they actually do anti-strat teams, like we've seen Neil done with Envious before, where he'll put the effort in, go through heat maps, go through strategies, break them down. A lot of the stuff of what Jakey does quite regularly, we see that with Endpoint, why they're actually able to top a sort of higher European teams, is because they're anti-stratting. But that's not come through against Reason. It looks like they're just going up and throwing it all to the wall and seeing what will stick. Right now, the early frags do start to go back in favor of Infused, though, as Bayfam and Dantes respond back with their USPs, but Hasten Tessus bring it down a potch as they actually secure bomb site control. Tessus just single-handedly closed it out with the Deagle as well. It's a 4K for him, and the opening pistol round. Snods, off the back of the next few rounds, if they actually secure these and somehow Infused don't fight back, the game's essentially over.
Pretty much. That might be the funnel in the coffin here. Pistols go 1-4, but the scoreline still reads 12-4. It's an 8-round advantage going forward. 4 on the side of Reason Gaming. You can see heated conversations right now for Infused. They're thinking, okay, Tesla lands the first kill. They get the trade kill once again, 4 versus 4, but they come towards the B bomb site. It's not looking good for Infused, as it seems likely that they're not going to be making the regional playoffs. No,
it seems like, unfortunately, they won't be trying to continue fourth and bring some more UK pride to the playoffs right now, as they are struggling into this matchup. They do go for the scout buy with the supported pistols, though, and it actually is going to work out as they're getting the initial tags. They're softening up their opponents, then shutting them down to the pistol with close range. Bayfam as well. Oh, so close. The timing could have been critical. If he actually found that frag, it could have dismantled the round. Right now, though, Minette on 1 HP, Basso on 18. Sure, they have upgraded firearms, but their health is so low, it doesn't take much for you to get overwhelmed by these pistol snods. Basso has the read, spots out the shadow, goes to the spam, takes down Fry as it falls back into a 2v2. They do have bomb control, but Zed, he's in the rear. He's lurking as he always does, up to his old tricks as he hammers down. Close range prowess will work more so in his favor, and it falls all on Basso. He's got to try to do it individually into this round now, as he's going to push through.
Does that expect this?
Oh, this is a cheeky play. Look at the game mechanics on display there, but it doesn't really work out when you have to switch to your sidearm. Zed going to get the better of him and takes him down.
Silver lining now for Infused going forward, claiming the force by victory. If they had lost that, Jack, it would have been 13-4. They're all on eco, 14-4, 10-round advantage going forward for Reason Gaming. Best team so far in the tournament in terms of regular season stats.
Yeah,
pretty much as good as done. But now, you know, they've been thrown a lifeline. Can they carry this one forward? 12-5, they're the ones now with the firepower, the utility versus the force by now from Reason Gaming. We've already seen what Tessus could do in the pistol round with the Deagle. Can he try replicate that and send Infused packing?
Well, let's see if that is going to be an option. Right now, an aggressive stance taken by Bayfam. Only with an MP9 in his hands, he was going for the early contact phase, trying to spot them out, see if he could hear any audio cues. They're actually pushing straight in as well. Basso's going for a bit of an audacious play towards close B, from what it seems.
They are playing heavy with a heavy Deagle buy, which means you've got to give time for these Deagles to work the map. Take the peeks, try to find the first frag. You've got to play peeking towards B, had to play it towards pop towards team main. They're hoping that someone from the roster from Reason Gaming lands that first 1 dig and opens up the sights, open up the opportunity for a rush and a swarm to come in.
Basso in the elevated angle now, as he's going to try to peer over the top of the smoke, see if he can get a bit of a jazzy entry kill. Isn't really going to be able to find too much, though, as they are just holding back Infused, playing very actually slow structured CS this time around. Very different to what we expect to see from them.
Zed. That gun barrel was showing, but eventually won't be caught out just yet. KS close range versus Dantes. Catching with a grenade in his hand. And it's going to be the man advantage going forward now for Reason Gaming.
Fry, but very Fry as well tags his own teammate in the confusion. So Zed was now weak, goes down. Minette with a double off the back of this. Bayfam finally arrives, but he's only got an MP9. He can upgrade it to the AK. It's actually the Scout as well, so it's even not going to be that effective. Bayfam is in such a horrible position. Link can support him, but both of them with just close range SMGs. Whilst they're getting shut down with these hand cannons, they can't do anything. Bafum going to try and go for a play, but unfortunately he will be sprayed down. That is another round for Reason. Everyone looks frustrated. Infused, they can't get it together.
They're playing so scared as well. You saw the paranoia towards outside. Here. Dante's opening towards Connector, holding towards team main. Even you heard it there from Neil. They're sat back. They're not peeking. They're not taking the initiative to go for the first frags. We saw how aggressive Reason Gaming were on their CT side and what it paid off for them. Information, the early frags. And for Infused, it's the complete stark opposite. You've got Zed holding towards green tree, not peeking. He's not even peeking towards Ali.
Yeah.
Holding the angles. Everyone's scared to their boots.
Dude, where's the aggression gone there? You look individually at these sort of players over on the side of Infused. Normally these people are players that win 1v1 firefights. Bafum as well comes through, will actually take down Haste. It seems like they're so timid and scared, and they've lost that confidence. They're playing with shaky aim rather than being the crisp killers they normally are. But let's see if they can actually try and find some newfound momentum. They need something right now, as this will be the 14th round claimed if Reason get it. Sure, you have a weak buy. Your Arsenal is basically just a couple of CZs, whatever you could find, a few flashbangs they found down the back of the sofa. But there's still a chance if you can actually work your way back through. Dancy's as well with a lurk. Can be critical, but the net scopes it out, actually does get overpowered though. Dancy's creating openers to allow his teammates to push in.
Let's see now off the back of the kill from Dancy's. It seems like they will be going and pulling the trigger on this one. That's on the crispy headshot. Then Tessus chimes in as well. Finds Fry. Blinking the 1 versus 3. Found that first kill onto Basso. Got the trade frag, but apart from that, nothing else was found. 14-5. No money left now for Infused, as it will have to be another force buy, and the force buy at that is going to be incredibly weak.
This is the thing. Do you go for another pause at this point? You need to try and do something, surely.
The problem is, I feel like a pause could be worse for this moment right now. If you pause, what are you going to talk about? Your mistakes? That's all there is to bring up. You could try to take a breather for a minute and a half, or sorry, for the 30 seconds or 45 seconds, try to take a break. The problem is, if you take a pause right now, all that can come out is negative things.
Yeah. Obviously not too many good things to be said about the play that has been going down for Infused. It's odd. It doesn't look like Infused playing today. When you sort of, even in games where they do lose, it's normally not in a fashion like this. Zed though with the timing, this could be incredible as he wants to strike against the totem pole. Shuts them both down.
Does indeed. The push now towards Ali means the remaining players from Reason Gaming are going to be lurking towards the B-bomb, so the jump comes out from KS as he shows us his KS skills. Anyway, though, it's going to be the aggressive play towards the B-bomb. So Basso finds another frag as well. 3 versus 3. The site is now claimed for Reason Gaming. This after plan is going to be an uphill struggle going forward for Infused.
Well, Zed spots out KS, but doesn't quite hit him with the AWP, so they're now going to be aware they can just isolate him. They don't really need to peek him. And everyone else is still facing in these 1v1s as well. Dancy's doesn't even actually have a real long-range firearm to work with. He just has the close-range CZ. He can push up, but Basso's going to hear him. They actually both strike at the same time. They find these initial frags, start to bring it back into a manageable situation. Zed lands the shot, so they can stay alive. They'll get the defuse. That will be a 6th round. But nevertheless, Nons, it needs to be basically a flawless game. If you lose 1 round, you have to go to OT. That is your only option to win the matchup at that point. This is going to be a struggle for them.
It is indeed. So one of the setups he's talking about right now is the aggressive pop play where you have 2 players in pop. One holds. We saw Tessus hold the same angle as well from Reason Gaming where he's holding above the ladder, and then 1 player in pop, holding for the team in push. Astralis for the first ones to bring it out. And it seems like everyone's basically copied it since then.
Well, the only thing is, obviously, when we see that from Reason, Infused didn't actually do the double Molotov to force them out. We've seen Reason do that key times in the past.
Yeah, exactly.
They know how to counter it.
That Molotov as well is very easy to throw after seeing, I believe it was God B that brought out. Nevertheless, here it comes. Fast aggression towards outside.
Oh, Tessus with the entry off the back of the Glil though, Snons. He takes down Dancy's. Link as well falls. The sure Zed gets 1 frag, but what more can he actually do? He's blocked off. His line of sight has been removed as the smoke wall is up, and he's holding a different angle. No one's going to peek towards close connector. Who's trying to take towards connector control right now? So this retake is going to be hard.
3 versus 2. Let's see. AWP coming up from Zed, 34 HP. Having the AWP itself in this scenario isn't the best. With the HP disadvantage, it's not looking good. Good Molotov comes out, will burn KS alive. Leaves just a Bathum down the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, nice read from Bafum. Let's see what he can actually do as he wants to try and bring more heat into this round. As he bounds into action, they're going to peek at the same time. Surely they will do so. Minette and Tessus take him down as a double team, and that is going to be the 15th round secured. They have match point. It's all about overtime now for Infused. They can't even think about winning.
11 match points going forward now for Reason Gaming. They've only lost 1 matchup so far, and that was early on into Swan 1 Train versus Envious Academy. There's one in the interview, I believe Haste had it on the desk last week, where Tom said, what happens if you were to play Team Envious Academy now, right? Would you claim the victory again in map like Train as well? And they were very confident in saying yes, and you can see why.
Yeah.
the difference, the evolution of their train from first week losing versus Infused Academy 16-9, or 16-13, sorry, to now dominating a team like Infused, which has a lot of skill, a lot of prowess.
Well, this is the thing, coming into it, a lot of people sort of saw them as an underdog, thought they'd be a team that would get toppled very easily by a lot of players, didn't really think they're going to be overwhelming anyone. But you look at them now, Haste works very well as an in-game leader to actually adapt and upgrade his team. Manette has watched with a double kill there. Some of the people spoke about, Manette, we haven't seen him in years. What's he even going to do? Is his reactions going to be on point? Coming into the server right now, looking fantastic with the AWP. So much finesse behind the kills he's found. Really game-changing frags that have opened it up. Barrels of impact frags tied to him. And this looks like it will be the final round going in favor of Reason as Zed hits the deck. Zed's dead, baby. And that is going to be 16 rounds secure. They pick up the victory there on Train. Reason Gaming still continuing on their strong streak.
Indeed. Only losing one matchup, first matchup of
shirt comes off for Neelam.
And that's, you know, that paints the picture of that matchup that will be concluding Reason Gaming for season 2. Sorry, not Reason Gaming. That will be concluding Infused for season 2 of the Elite Series. They will be taken out, as I believe they will finish now 6th, 5th, somewhere out of the echelons of top 4. And they can no longer make playoffs. And a disappointing season at that. They were so close last season to getting to top 4, making playoffs. If you remember that crazy comeback from Excel, 15-9 down.
Trying their hardest, and once again, it's out of their hands. They let it crumble away. They couldn't quite do it. Looking like Team Confused once more.
Exactly that. So, I mean, what really can you say in terms of, for Reason Gaming, very dominant CT side, very well-met aggression coming up from being called, sorry, by Haste towards the B-bomb site, pushing towards Pop Dog, pushing towards Team Main. And it seemed like every single push coming up from Reason Gaming was so well timed, just caught Infused off guard.
Yeah, it just looked fantastic. Like they had everything on lockdown, everyone looking fabulous. Someone else that looks quite fabulous is Tom Deacon over on the desk.
Oh, you too kind. Words are beautiful from you, Jackie and Snods. Listen, my voice is a little bit hoarse because I've been shouting on those Reason boys, but I tell you what, as Jackie said, a team confused in a bit of disarray. Where do they go from here, gentlemen?
Well, yeah, I think probably
2 wins, 5 losses.
Yeah, I think that is the best thing to do at this point. Yeah, not the greatest performance, really. It just looked like there was a lot of opportunities where maybe they could have done something, but they lost it, you know, having a one-man advantage in a lot of early rounds. They started off with a good lead, and it just seemed to fall apart after that.
I mean, it's hard to say. Was it just the general, the fact that there was no IGL? Was Aaron really missed today? Fry wasn't let off the leash? What happened?
I wouldn't say it's like... I'd say it's more Reason success, to be honest. Like, through the season, we've seen Reason have quite weak CT sides and they'd pull it back on T. But every week we've talked to Haste, he said, yeah, we had a pretty poor CT side again, we're trying to work on that. And this week it was phenomenal. They went a man down a lot of rounds, as Harold was saying, and they did pushes to, you know, even up the playing field, and it was really, really well played by them.
Who stood up for you on that Reason team today?
Honestly, they were all... Basso, I suppose, would be the early one. Like, earlier on in the game, he was... I think he got like three Ks in the first 8 rounds or so, and it was constantly him repelling, you know, the ongoing offense from Infused.
And in terms of choosing Train, I felt like, as you did, that it favoured Reason, and they showed why it was maybe a bad pick from Infused.
Yeah, I mean, Train traditionally is one of those maps where you need a lot of teamwork. You need to be able to work together very, very effectively. And while we do see, you know, some of the rounds that were won by Infused, it was just individual play. It was one person going big, getting a good kill, finding an opportunity, and it wasn't the team coming together to, you know, run a cool strat or do something we haven't seen before. So I think that's how Reason just shone through there.
Okay, well, a man who's featured very prominently down on this desk because he's come to join us from a winning team. It is, of course, Haste, and we can welcome him down now. There you go, Haste. Come and join us. Take a seat. It's becoming a bit more familiar, you down here. Haircut this week.
Yes.
Looking very fresh, and your performance was rather tasty up there.
Mine wasn't. Mine wasn't, but the team was.
Well, I mean more generally the team. Yeah, I don't want to sort of dig you out at all, but you've got to be happy with that. Another win.
Well, it's a great feeling. I think we're the first now.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Definitely, yeah, guaranteed, yeah. But then again, we will probably play against Epsilon and Envy, and that's the 2 teams we are a bit scared of. So it's with mixed feelings. It's a great feeling winning, but yeah, the semi-final will be a hard one.
Surely winning today again gives you that confidence that whoever you play, you're there or thereabouts. You've got a good map picked for you today, and then you should be able to take that confidence. Envy have lost some games when they shouldn't have done, and so have Epsilon, you know. But you've got to have a bit of confidence, surely.
Of course. This week have been a tough one. We have played a Danish tournament called Fight Club, and we lost in a Swiss system 3 matches against some lower tier teams, and it really struggled for us, the confidence. But with this win, we get it back fast, and we're only waiting to play again.
Just play the Gfinity Elite Series. Don't play any other competitions. That's how you stay mentally strong. That's
Just get on LAN. Just get on LAN.
Let's look back at some of the action from the round and talk us through what was happening here, Haste.
We were 3 versus 5, and we knew that we need to push. And we actually were 3 versus 5, 4 versus 5 a lot, I think. And we said to ourselves, we need to push and get the info. And yeah, well, that works because we hit our shots, to be honest.
Yeah, that was something I was kind of trying to credit. Like, the past 3 weeks, he's been saying the CT sides have been a bit weak, but then that one, it was perfect. Like, he went a man down, and then you instantly made the play back to try and, you know, get some sort of advantage back in, which is something you don't normally see from teams. Some people just kind of sit back and hope that, you know, it works out for them. But
and it must have been nice to get Minette back today because he was popping some heads there on the map.
Yeah, he was. I've had a little chat with him, and we talked a lot about him. He needed to play more deathmatch, and it definitely shows that.
Did you say Minette played better than me this week?
No,
is that what you said?
No. We just talked about it, and he confirmed that he actually needs to play a bit more deathmatch, and after that you can see what happens. He played a lot deathmatch this week, and it worked.
And the main point was how confident he looked. You know, when he, even on 1 HP, he's still going for the peaks, he's still finding frags, and I think that's just backing up. You know, put the practice in, and it'll shine through.
Yeah.
So with your first team squad, all the best going in 2 weeks' time to when you take on either Epsilon or those boys Envy. Will you stick around and watch the other games?
Yes, of course.
Good. Glad to hear it. Congratulations on that win, Haste, and coming back to better performance in 2 weeks' time. A little cheeky smile and a little finger, a little thumb up there for me. Lottie is with Neil M right now. What does he have to say for himself?
I am indeed, Tom. Neil, not a great game again for you guys, but it's okay. It's all right. It happens. We have bad games, we have good games, and you have had some fantastic games this season as well. We've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. Let's just talk about this one that's just happened. First, great 3 rounds. Brilliant. Looking really good. Top form. And then second half, a mountain to climb. What was going through your guys' heads after the 3 rounds? Where were you at?
I mean, we had a really good start. I feel like a 3-0, I thought we're going to have at least 7 or 8 rounds here. It was going well in the first gun round, and we just lost a 5v3. It's just been the same old story the whole season. We've been losing 5v3s, 5v2s. We've always done, like, the start, we've always done well, and then, like, we just, like, panic, I think, and we don't communicate properly, so we lose, like, our trade frags and stuff, so yeah, we just hadn't. It was always going to be hard not having Aaron here. I mean, it was out of his hands, he couldn't come, but it was just, we never really got going after the first gun round. It was just pretty disastrous, to be honest. They were by far a better team today. Like,
was it difficult not having Aaron around? I mean, the chemistry of the team, was it slightly broken up by that? And how are the guys feeling when they knew that he couldn't make it?
I mean, again, it's not an ideal situation, but he couldn't do anything about it. We're a bit like, weren't like that happy about it, but there's nothing he can do. Like, so, but yeah, we were never. It was going to be really hard for us to make playoffs. Like, a lot of results had to go our way, but we tried our best. And again, they were like, that's why they're the first seed going into playoffs. There's a reason for that, and like, they played very well this season so far. And I think they'll probably win the event with best of 3s. I think they'll win the event.
Okay. If they'll win the event, they'll win the event. No, you can't question that. No, they're a fantastic team. Yeah. What's next for you, Neil? In particular, yourself. What is next? Where can we see Neil M next?
Well, I've just joined a team, a EU team with Asilian and Tensky. So I've been like on practice with them for about a week and a half. It's been going really well. So that's my future. And like, I just want to say thanks very much to Infused for the last 2 seasons and to Gfinity. I've had some great moments here. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a great stage, and it's really, really good for the UK. So I just want to say thanks very much for everything, and I'm sure I'll be back here at some stage.
I hope so. I really hope so. Neil, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Gfinity, thanks to you as well. Tom, it's back to you.
No Neil M. That's actually quite sad. He won't be back for season 3. Oh well. Okay. Look, we move on. All the best to Neil M. Right then, match 1 in the bag. It was Infused taking on Reason, and it finished 16-6 to Reason. We'll see you in a second for match 2.